It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ho Ho Oh, our Project Potter our holiday special, guys. We are doing 25 straight nights of Christmas movie reviews. And, guys, we're on night 23. We're doing Disney's A Christmas Carol, the 2009 animated film, guys, starring Jim Carrey, Colin Firth's in there. A lot of big names, guys. My name is Kyle, your host. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. If this is your first time here, guys, welcome. Go check out the other content. And, guys, what we're going to do is go through my favorite scenes in the movie, my favorite character, my least favorite character, a score out of 10, and then we're going to rank it against the other 22 movies to this point. So, guys, let's go. I was blown away by this movie, dude. This is a 2009 film, but this looks so good, with the exception of a couple of facial animations. I couldn't believe how good this looked. This looks like a modern Disney movie. Also, this is like a horror movie, dude. Between the animation, like the way it's shot and the tone, I say it's shot, the way it's animated, it's so like genuinely eerie and creepy. And I was like, this is not for kids, dude. And I was just really, really impressed with the atmosphere and the visuals and the story and the lighting and the tone. And I couldn't believe how good this was. And the only thing that kind of kept this down for me from maybe even being a higher score is that we've seen this story before, right? And this is, of course, 2009 film. So I have to remember, guys, like, this is the third time we've seen this story in this series, between Spirited and then A Muppet Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens's classic story, right? Good afternoon, good afternoon. That's from the #1 movie, classic tale. It's really just like bare bones. Like, this is the story. Scrooge is, miserable and terrible, and then, he gets haunted by Marley initially, or he comes to season with the boxes, and then he says, "Hey, you're going to be haunted by the ghost of Christmas past, ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of not yet Christmas or future Christmas, whatever you want to call it, guys." And the future Christmas is always the Grim Reaper. Not Tracy Morgan this time, unfortunately, but I've seen this story before. But I just love what they did with the horror element that they took to it. And I was really surprised at that, especially being made by Disney. I thought Scrooge was designed so well, animated so well. I thought Jim Carrey's accent and his voice was so perfect. Like, he really knocked it out of the park and really sold that character. The gravestone at the end, and the ghost of the future or not yet present or whatever the hell it's called. He points, to Ebenezer Scrooge, and Scrooge is pleading for him. He's like, "Please, please, I can change." And it's like, okay, we've seen this exact story many times. Again, it's all just so well made. It's so well done, but it's not the cookie cutter formula for the story that I liked. It was the difference in tone. It was going to Christmas present and like on a huge clock in the middle of the movie, guys, and it's like dinging, and like when it dings 3 times, he like falls over and he's dying, but then he's like a corpse and he's laughing, and I was like, oh my god, this is dark, dude. And there's like a lady in a straitjacket. This is sick. This is awesome. And at the beginning of the schoolboy, they like zoom in on that kid sitting alone, and he's singing, and it's just like, it's beautiful, and it's just so visually pleasing. And I could not believe how good and how well it looked, and just the direction they took it. So very, very impressed with this movie. And yeah, it just, despite it being a classic, hits on certain points, they did enough and they switched up enough and they just took their own spin on it, that I think this made it really stick out than a couple of the other ones we've seen so far. Hey, guys, that brings us to our favorite character. It's Ebenezer Scrooge. And it's like, how do you pick Ebenezer Scrooge as the favorite character or the best character in a movie? Well, Jim Carrey just absolutely crushes it out of the park, dude. His accent is so good. The animations are so good. I love how he acts so genuinely terrified when they're haunting him. And I thought the design also of the Christmas past, so creepy and like unsettling. Like, and just don't let this dude around your kids. Marley, I thought, was awesome and very genuinely creepy. I love how the boxes come in first, and obviously with animation you can get away with stuff that you can't in live action. But the fact that Jim Carrey had to like really bring these different emotions in a VO booth, like, not like he's not acting, and they like intentionally made Scrooge like, I think his mannerisms a lot like Jim Carrey's. You have to bring all that through the VO box, right, or the VO booth, and so it's even more impressive when you think about how good the performance is and how well it's animated. But the fact that Jim Carrey's just reading lines off of a piece of paper and he's speaking these emotions into the booth. So hats off to Jim Carrey for making Ebenezer Scrooge as likable as he was, and he was the best part of this film, and I just thought he was excellent. And so, Jim Carrey, well done, my friend. Guys, my least favorite character, it's got to be Tiny Tim. Nah, I'm just kidding. That would be so mean, dude. I don't have one. I really don't have one for this one. I thought all the characters were so well designed and great, and I love how the kids are like holding on to the back of the cart in the beginning, and then Scrooge is like yelling at them or whatever, and then they're sliding down the ice, and then Scrooge actually ends up on the back of the taxi later because he's like finally having fun. So I know that's not really has to do with the worst character guys, but yeah, I just no one was like annoying to me. No one really stood out. No one was bad. I thought everything looked and sounded great, and everyone fit into the story perfectly. So I don't have any least favorite characters or worst characters for this one. Hey guys, that brings us to score. This is a 9.3. This is excellent, dude. Like I said, I was not expecting the animation, especially being 2009. This is like so ahead of its time. I wasn't expecting the different shots where like they're haunting him with the bells at the very beginning, and they like first of all just like the whole tone, like I mentioned, guys. Scrooge is walking to his like big mansion or whatever, and it's just quiet and it's so dark, and he like opens up the gate and then closes it, and it's just like the way it sound design is great where it closes and then he just like he's got like that snarl, dude, and he looks at the camera. But then when he's sitting there in the fireplace, it's all alone, and he's like eating his like sad soup or whatever, and then the ghost like or I guess Marley is like hanging out where the bells are, and the shot that's like behind the bells, it's like an overhead shot, kind of like almost like a bird's eye. I thought that was so cool, and they had so many shots like that where it was like almost like over the shoulder, like a video game behind Scrooge, and I just thought it was so well done, and I couldn't believe like some of the shots that were in there, and that stuff really matters, and it really sells the product, and elevates the product really. So I was really really impressed with everything, the voice acting, the visuals. The story is what it is, but the tone that they took and just how different they were. Like I said, guys, it really was like a horror movie, and when the walls are changing and when he's in the schoolyard and the ghost of Christmas Present when he's, dying, and like, it was almost like God of War-esque. It was actually really crazy and cool and very, very like I couldn't believe it. And the ghost, the first ghost, like he's like, I can kill you or whatever. And he's like, can you put on your hat? And he's just like, and it's like, dude, again, keep him away from the children. But yeah, this was an excellent film, and I'm very pleased with it. Okay, guys, that brings us to the Ho Ho Oh ranking. So, guys, this is where we rank out every movie 23 nights in, guys. So, number one, recapping, we have Spirited, 10 out of 10. The same Charles Dickens story with a very clever, quite a few clever twists, and also a much lighthearted story. I think it's great, guys. Go watch my review on that, and obviously the other reviews. Number two, guys, Home Alone at 9.9. Number three, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at 9.8. Number four, Bad Santa at a 9.7. Number five, Daddy's Home 2 at a 9.6. Number six, Love Actually at a 9.5. Number seven, The Santa Claus at a 9.4.8. Number eight, Eight Crazy Nights at a 9.4. And this one's going to slot in at number nine, guys, at a 9.3. Followed by number 10, The Night Before at an 8.6. Number 11, Jingle All the Way at an 8.4. Number 12, Just Friends at an 8.3. Number 13, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 2002, also Jim Carrey, at an 8.2. Number 14, Elf at a 7.8. Number 15, I'm Up at Christmas Carol at a 7.4. Number 16, Klaus at a 7.1. Number 17, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special at 6.6. Number 18, Deck the Halls at a 6.5. Number 19, The Polar Express at a 6.1. Number 20, The Charlie Brown Christmas at a 5.7. Number 21, Christmas with the Cranks at a 5.3. Number 22, A Christmas Story at a 2.5. And number 23, guys, It's a Wonderful Life at a 2.1. That is how our rankings shape up through 23 nights. All right, guys, that's another episode of Ho Ho Oh. Thanks for checking out the channel. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think about this movie. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. You know the deal. And until tomorrow night, peace.